Yo, book nerds! This video is going up on April 22nd, and tomorrow, April 23rd, is Shakespeare Day. April 23rd is the day that Shakespeare died. Shakespeare's date of birth is unknown. We know that he was born in April, and it is often celebrated on April 23rd as well. So his birthday and death day are commemorated with Shakespeare Day. So, in honor of Shakespeare, I wanted to talk to you about my experience with him. But first, I have to share my Shakespeare mug with you. This is my Shakespeare insult mug, and I love it. It is hilarious. I'm going to try and hold it up so you can kind of pause and read all of the great Shakespeare insults on it. I love this mug so much. It makes me laugh. And I know I bought it for myself. It wasn't a gift, but I cannot for the life of me remember where I bought it from. So look, there's even a little quill inside the mug. And of course you've got Shakespeare down here. On the bottom it says Shakespeare insults. My favorite ones on here are, I would challenge you to a battle of wits, but I see you are unarmed. And more of your conversation would infect my brain. Those are my favorite ones on here. But I love this mug. I didn't put coffee in it just because I wanted to be able to show it to you and move it around without worrying about spilling. But I actually do use this mug to actually drink coffee quite a bit because I just love this mug so much. But anyway, let's talk about Shakespeare. So my experience with him goes all the way back to high school. I remember reading Romeo and Juliet in high school. I do not remember if it was an abridged version or if we actually read the entire thing. I know we didn't read it in an actual book, like it was like in our textbook, and I just don't remember really much about it at all. I remember us watching the movie afterwards, and I did not like the movie. And so, yeah. I didn't really think much about Shakespeare after that because I just didn't really connect with Romeo and Juliet when I read it in high school. But when I was in undergrad, I did connect with Shakespeare again. The first time I connected with him was in an honors course, and it was an honors course like dedicated to comedy. And one of the works that we read was Shakespeare's As You Like It. And I really enjoyed reading this play. I also, just on a side note, fell in love with these Folger editions because they have great notes and scene summaries. So definitely recommend them. These editions are the only editions that I will now buy Shakespeare works in. Like, I like them. I trust them. They're great. But I really enjoyed this. And so it shifted my feelings about Shakespeare after my experience with Romeo and Juliet. But then after that, still in undergrad, I ended up taking a Shakespeare class. And so this Shakespeare class just wrecked me. Oh my gosh. It was so intense. It was more intense than some of my honors courses that I took. And honestly, we read so many Shakespeare plays, I can't even remember all of the ones we read. I know for sure that we read Hamlet, Macbeth, A Midsummer Night's Dream. I know we read some of the Richard and Henry plays, but I cannot remember which ones. I don't believe we read all of them. So I don't remember which ones of them we read. And I feel like I read either Twelfth Night or The Tempest, but I also can't remember which one. I feel like it was Twelfth Night. And we might have watched clips from The Tempest. But seriously, I cannot remember because we read so many in such a short amount of time. And we also read all of Shakespeare's sonnets. So yeah, it was a very intense, and that class like killed me. I really liked the professor for that class, and I actually still talk to him to this day, but the course itself just completely wore me out on Shakespeare. Not to mention the fact that part of the final was memorizing and reciting Shakespeare's poetry. You could either recite sonnets or you could recite a soliloquy, and I chose two of the sonnets, and oh my gosh, that was like the worst experience ever because I did memorize them. I knew those sonnets so well, but when it came to actually performing them in front of the class, I got up there and I got stage fright and I completely blanked on everything. And I eventually did recover and was able to finish reciting my two sonnets. I can't remember which ones now because this was like, seriously, this was in 2017, so I can't remember back then which ones they were. But I did recover and I finished, but oh my gosh, I was like humiliated. And I remember going to the professor afterwards and like almost in tears and like telling him that it was just stage fright, that I really knew what I was supposed to say, and I asked for another chance, but he told me that he didn't think I needed to have another chance and that it was going to be fine. I ended up getting an A-, I believe, in the course, so it was all okay, but oh my gosh, I remember leaving class that day and calling my mom and just sobbing because I had gotten such bad stage fright. It was like so embarrassing and I was so mad at myself, and yeah. So that experience really turned me off to Shakespeare. I like wrote him off, decided I did not like Shakespeare. I didn't want anything to do with him. I got rid of everything that I had that was Shakespeare. For that class, we read most of the plays in our textbook. So like I just got rid of that textbook. The only thing that I kept that was Shakespeare was As You Like It from that other class because I genuinely enjoyed this one. And everything else associated with that other Shakespeare class, I got rid of because I was just like done. I was done. But then as time passed, after I graduated, I was like, maybe I should give Shakespeare another chance because I really was just mad at myself, and I was starting to think that maybe I would actually like his works if I gave them another shot. So I graduated in 2017, like right after taking that Shakespeare class. And then I don't remember exactly how long it was, but then I decided to buy some more of his works. And I ended up buying 3 of them. I bought Hamlet, Macbeth, and A Midsummer Night's Dream. And in 2019, I decided to reread Hamlet. And I loved it. It was wonderful. And I was just blown away by Shakespeare. And I'm so glad that I didn't just write him off. His work is hard to understand. Again, why I recommend these editions. They're wonderful. But they're worth it. The story you get out of it is amazing. And so I'm so glad that I decided to dive back in and try Shakespeare again. And I did take another break after reading Hamlet. I read a lot of other things that weren't Shakespeare at all. I did not reread As You Like It, but I did go see it performed, which was incredible. So I didn't feel the need to reread it because I got to go see it. And it was just amazing. I greatly enjoyed seeing this one performed. But I was just thinking last year, man, I should really get back and reread one of those other 2 plays that I bought and see how I feel about it now. And ironically, being in grad school, I was actually assigned to read Macbeth. And so because I was already thinking about rereading it, this didn't feel like an assignment to me because I actually wanted to reread it. So I reread this in 2023 and again, just loved it, was blown away by how amazing Shakespeare is. And now that just leaves A Midsummer Night's Dream on my physical TBR because I definitely want to reread this with that lens that I have grown and I don't hate Shakespeare, and I'm actually planning to reread this year. This is one of my goals. And this will not be the end of my Shakespeare journey. It's just the end right now because it's the last one I physically own right now. And so this is going to happen sometime this year. Exactly when, I'm not quite sure, but it will happen. So that has been my Shakespeare journey thus far. I am so glad that I didn't give up on him, and I definitely think he's worth the effort. As I look past rereading A Midsummer Night's Dream, I definitely want to try a few more. I think I want to buy The Tempest. I think I want to buy Much Ado About Nothing because I've never read that one. I know I haven't read that one. I have also debated on getting the sonnets again and rereading them because even though those were the bane of my existence when I took that Shakespeare class, I feel like I should give them another shot. So those are the ones that are kind of on my mind. I would love your recommendations on ones that I should go and try again. Either try again or try for the first time. I've heard good things about Othello, so maybe that's another possibility, but please give me your recommendations. I hope you all have a lovely Shakespeare day tomorrow, and please, if you've never given Shakespeare a try, don't let him intimidate you. I urge you to give him a go because it's worth the effort. And so much references Shakespeare, like so much in modern day references him. And it'll just enrich other things that you read because you'll understand where certain things have come from and where certain inspirations have come from. Even certain sayings were coined by Shakespeare. So even certain words were created by Shakespeare. Shakespeare just made up words. Like he did. He didn't have a word, so he just made one up. And some of them are still used today. So I urge you to give him a try. Either read his plays or go see them. I think reading them is very important because you can go at your own pace. If you don't understand something, you can look things up. And that's just my recommendation, to read them first on your own and then go see them because, oh my gosh, theater is amazing. And I wish people enjoyed theater more than they do today because theater is beautiful. I love going to the theater. So, side note. But yes, give me your recommendations. Let me know your journey with Shakespeare. And I urge you to keep going with him and try him if you haven't. That's all for me this week. Hit like and subscribe. Thanks for talking books with me.